how your story creates the reality that you walk around in, and how to change that story to change your circumstances forever. That's what we're doing today. So a real quick story for me. I went many, many years ago through what you could call a dark night of the soul. Things were bleak. I was down and out. I was not in a great place. It was pretty rough. I was really stuck, and I eventually realized why. I thought it was the circumstance, because I was looking around and everything looked pretty terrible, the circumstance in my life. And I kept going, well, that's why I'm upset. That's why I'm upset. But something changed, and I went, no. These circumstances are showing me something. That's what they do. That's what our results really do, and our circumstances really do. They show us the stories and the beliefs we're telling ourselves that are shaping our reality. That's what they're there for. They're just like a knock at the door going, hey man, I know you want something different. And these circumstances are showing you what you have to change in your mind to change what's going on in your life. That's what they really are. So it's like a movie screen. Life is sort of like this movie screen. The reality we walk around in is just a projection of our stories and our beliefs, but we get so engrossed in it, we don't realize that we're in a movie. So we start to look at it as real, unchangeable, and all that there is. And we just go, well, this is what's going on. But no, that's not what's really happening. And I'll get back to my dark night of the soul in a minute, because it's significant. I think it will help you grow. And in later videos, I'll share even more in depth, because there's a lot in that story that I think could help you a lot. So we're walking around in this projection of our beliefs and our stories about ourselves. But we don't realize that's what's going on. We just go, this sucks. This is really rough right now. So we're mistaking the cause for the effects. The story we tell ourselves, which is a collection of beliefs that becomes the script for our lives, this beliefs over and over and over that we tell ourselves, until it becomes a story or a script. And we live by that script without realizing it. So the story is the cause. The circumstances we're walking around in are the effects. And if we start to see it like that, then we're in an empowered position, because we go, well, I know at a cause and effect level what's happening. Mathematically, I understand the calculus here. So now you can ask a better question. What is it I would have to change at the level of cause? How does my story about myself need to change so I can get new results? So the story we tell ourselves is the cause, and our circumstances are the effects. Now we know what to work on. Because we'll only allow ourselves to create results in our life, circumstances in our life, that match or fit the story we tell ourselves. So if we have a story that we're unworthy of good things, let's just say, we'll create circumstances that reflect that. We won't have good things in our life. And the tough part of this is that program runs unconsciously. All we're going to see is I don't have what I want. I don't have great things in my life that I desire. Without going into the awareness that shows us why that's the case. So the story is the cause, the circumstances are the effect. We have to change our story if we want to change our effects, if we want to change our circumstances in any real or lasting way. Once you know this, you can then go and rewrite the script of your life, which by definition has to change the circumstances or the movie you're walking around in. If you go rewrite that script, it changes your circumstances. It is a universal law that is true. It's not like maybe it'll work, I hope it'll work, yeah, maybe. No, every single time it works. So for me, in that dark night of the soul season, through some trial and error, right? This took me a while to get here, a lot of pain, and eventually sort of the dam burst. I just couldn't stand my own suffering and bullshit anymore. And I realized I had a story, a script for this experience that said I wasn't lovable. It was like a literal light bulb going off. Like I saw my circumstances differently. So this story of being unlovable kept me creating a reality that reflected that. It kept me creating circumstances that reinforced that message. Through relationships, through finances, through self-esteem, through literally anything that was in my life, I would look at it and it would reaffirm this belief that I wasn't lovable. However, all of that was happening under the surface of my awareness. So I felt really powerless until I didn't. Until my awareness shifted and I went, holy shit. I'm telling myself this intense story that my life has to follow. I'm giving life a script and going, follow this script. It's like a director on a movie set being like, you have to say every word beat for beat for beat, exactly how it's written. So of course my life unfolded like that. And something incredible happened. Once I realized this, once I saw what was going on and changed the story, which I did like in an instant. Now it took work over time, but in that instant I went, whoa, I'm not telling that story anymore. I would say I experienced an immediate like 30% improvement in how I was feeling. I'd been carrying this extraordinarily heavy weight for, at that point, probably my whole life, but I was acutely aware of about 6 to 12 months of just feeling beaten down, so heavy. And within maybe 2 minutes, so maybe not instantaneously, but pretty quick, I felt about 30% lighter. It was incredible, like truly incredible. And then it was so shocking to feel better so quickly. I went headlong into this work. I really started focusing on rewriting my story, telling a different story. And it was a lot of work. I had to be really diligent. But what started to happen was over time, and this happened within maybe a month and a half to 2 months, my circumstances started to change really dramatically. Like things that had been going one way for a long time, financially, professionally, relationally, they started to change really fast. And it was because I changed the story. I went to the level of cause. So it's something that does require diligent work. Why? Because your subconscious wants you to go back to the story. Not because it's trying to like torture you. It just is trying to keep you alive and then trying to keep you safe. So if you're alive, which you are, and you're relatively safe, meaning there's no immediate threat to your physical existence and health, the subconscious goes, don't change a thing. So it's constantly trying to get you back to the old way of thinking because it's predictable and it's known and it knows you're going to be alive if you keep doing that. So you have to be really diligent with this work. It's not a one-stop shop. It's not something you do once. It's something you do over and over and over. What's really cool though is if you're willing to be diligent, you will see shifts like massively. So learn how to change the story you tell yourself if you want to change your results. It's the only surefire way to change your results, to change your circumstances quickly and permanently. At some point I'll tell some client success stories, but very quickly here I'll say, like, I have seen clients do incredible things in their marriages, in their relationships within themselves, in their relationship to God, financially, in their businesses, like what people would call miracles. Like true miracles, the level of change that occurred. All of them did that by seeing the story they had been telling themselves that caused these circumstances and changing the story that would allow for these new circumstances, telling themselves a new story for as long as they needed to allow a new result in. If you're willing to do that, you will be blown away by what happens in your life, in your business, your relationships. So go practice. Let me know how it goes. And if you have questions, as always, please reach out. I got you. I'm here to help.